Okay everyone, so now we are learning the static array. Now whenever the array is there whose size is fixed, that is called the static array. Let us suppose that we are taking a diagram here. Here we are having an array, let us suppose A. Now we know that array work with the index values. So 0, 1, 2 and 3. That means here 4 elements can come. If I provide the values here, let's say 7, 3, 6 and 9. Now these are the values. So we can say that array is containing 4 values here, or we can say that these all are the elements. And all these elements 7, 3, 6, 9 can be accessed with their index values. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, these are the index values. And we are having the name of array which is A. So A is the name of array. Static array means the size of array is fixed. That means only 4 values can come here. Now these 4 values may change. Right now the values are 7, 3, 6 and 9, but later on values can be changed. It can be 10, 20, 30, 40. No problem. The values may change, but size of array will be same. Size means only 4 elements can come here. So that is called the static array. Means if you are running the program, that means on the runtime, the array size never change. So that is called the static array. So we can say that the size of array remains same even at runtime. When you are making the program, that means on the compile time, at that time, let's say you have decided that only 4 elements can come here. Now, when you run this program, the 4 elements will be there. You can change the elements, but only 4 elements can come. So this is called the static array. We know that array is the data structure of same type. Means let's say we can store the integers, we can store the float, means all the elements should be of same category. Just like here we have used 7369, so they all are integer. Now so this array is of same type of values, but if we declare the array of object type, then the array can store any type of data structure. So if the array is declared as the object type, then we can store different types of data types. Means if you want that in a single array, I can store the float, I can store the integer or the character. That means multiple data types I want to store. Then we should declare the array of object type. So that is the functionality given by the .NET, that we can declare the array of object type and we can store the different data types like integer, float, character into a single array. Now we are learning the syntax of static array. So now we are taking few examples. With the help of that, we will understand how to declare and initialize the static array. The first one is dim A3 as integer. If we compare the array of C programming and the .NET, the array is different. Now we know that if in the C programming we declare A3. Now here we reserve the 3 blocks. That means only 3 members can be stored. Let us assume that in the C programming we use A3. So the first thing, that array will start from 0 and it will be going till 2. That means how many elements are stored? 0, 1 and 2. That means 3 elements can be stored here. But if you talk about the .NET here, in the .NET, the first thing, the brackets got changed. So here if I am writing 3, so bracket is changed. Now second thing, the .NET array start with 0 and go till 3. That means 0, 1, 2 and 3. How many elements? 4 elements. So if you are declaring A3 in the .NET, then 4 elements will be stored. So here you can see that one array is declared here whose size is based upon the size given by the user. So here the user is mentioning 3. That means index values are 0, 1, 2 and 3. And the name of array given is A. So here we can store the different values. Now here we can define certain values. Let us suppose we are initializing. So first of all we will be taking A. Now it is starting from 0. So we are mentioning A0 is equal to 3. So 3 will be coming here. Now if I am mentioning A1, that will be equal to 7. So 7 will come here. Then afterward A2 is equal to 9. So 9 will come here. And if I mention A3, that will be equal to 6. So 6 will come here. This is how we can just first declare the static array. Then afterward we are going to initialize the values. Now I'm taking one more example. Dim C as single. Now that is equal to, let us suppose that the values we are initializing here, so 10.1 comma 24.7, the bracket close. So now here the memory is reserved. Here first of all we are storing the first element, which is 10.1, and then we are storing the 24.7. Now here we know that we have given the name of array, which is C. So the name of array is C. Here memory size is not allocated. So because here we have given two elements. So now first of all these two elements will be stored, and .NET automatically assign the size of this array. We know that here 0 and 1, that means two places are required. So .NET automatically define the size of this array. We know that this is C1 because C0 and C1, two places values are stored. So whenever you are not defining the size of array and we are giving the values, so this is the part of static array, because we are mentioning that there are two values which we are going to store here. So automatically .NET will take the size of this array. Now we are taking another example. Dim D2 as object. So here the array is declared with the name D, and we know that if it is 2, so it will start from 0, go till 2. That means 3 values can be taken, or 3 elements can come inside. Now the type of array is object. That means it can take multiple data types. It is not fixed to any single data type. Just like we know that whenever we have taken the integer, then only integer values we have taken, like 3, 7, 9 and 6. If we have taken the single and double, these are the floating point. So here we can see that only floating point is available. But if you talk about object, in the object we can take any of the data type. So if you write here D0, that means at 0th location we are mentioning that it is equal to 7. So this is the integer value, so it is stored. Let us suppose that on D1 we want to store, let's say, some float value, that is 7.2. Now it can be stored. Why it can be stored? Because it is the object type. Let us suppose that on D2 I again want to store, let's say, the integer value, so I can again store. That means in the object I can mix multiple data types. So we know that first and the last, these are the integer, and the middle one is the floating point. So here we are having the mixed data type. So that is also possible with the array, only because we are having the declaration of object type. So I am taking one more example. Dim B21 as string. This is the example of 2D array. So the name of array is B. So first of all we are mentioning here the name is B. Now rows are 2. That means starting from 0, 1 and 2. So 3 rows are there. Now 1 column, that means 0 and 1. So 2 columns are there. So now we are going to initialize the values here. So first of all we are having the B. Now very first 0, 0. So at the 0, 0 we are going to initialize. We know that it is of string type. So that means it can take any string. Let's say AB. It is a string. So the double quotes we are mentioning. So AB will come here at 0, 0 index place. Now afterward if I am initializing B 0, 1. Now here if I am, let's say, mentioning BB, now in the double quotes, so 0, 1, so 0, 1, here BB will come. So this way we can initialize the or other places. B10 is equal to CC, so 10, so here CC will come. B11 equal to DD, so DD will come here. B20 EE, so EE will come here. B21 equal to FF, so this 2 and this 1, so that means this place FF will come here. This is how we can initialize and declare the static array. So if we talk about the static array, the first thing is that the size of array that is same even at the runtime. Now if you want that the array should be having the different data types, then you has to create the array with the object. Now the first method of creating the static array is you define its size. That is the name of array and in the bracket the size. Let's say suppose 3. So if it is 3, it will be going from 0 till 3. That means it can store 4 elements. It is not like C programming that will go from 0 to 2. No, it will be going from 0 to the value you have placed and it will be having one more than the value which you have mentioned. So here you have mentioned 3. So here 4 places it has reserved, that is 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now one by one you can initialize, that is from A0, A1, A2 and A3. Then you can define the values of this array. There is another option of static array that you can not give any of the size here, but you can give the number of elements. If you are mentioning number of elements, we know that number of elements here are 0 and 1. So 2 places, that means automatically the .NET will define as the name which is C and 1. So automatically define it. So this is also the part of static array, because here we have mentioned that these elements will come. If you are not mentioning the elements, then it can be the part of dynamic array, but if you are mentioning the elements, then it will be the part of static array. There is other option that you give the name of array and the size as object. Now in the object you can define different types. Types means the data types. You can store the integer, you can store the float, again the integer, character. So multiple data type you can club together if you are declaring with the object. Another option is that you can define the array in 2D or the 3D. So if you talk about 2-dimension array, now here you simply define the name, then X and the Y. So row and the column you can define. The first one is the row and second one is the column. Here you can define as the string type, integer type, float type. It is up to you. So one by one, starting from 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, then 2, 0, 2, 1, you can define the different values, and those values can come inside the array. So this is how we can define and declare the static array, and we can initialize their values. So that is all about the static array. So now we are taking the real life example of the static array. Here we are taking a program in the VB.NET. So first of all, we have created a form and given the name of the form, which is static array. This is actually the form 1. Now afterward we have taken one text box here. This is text box 1. Here the user will give the input. So this is the text box 1. Afterward we have taken one button. This is button 1, and change the text of the button, which is click. Now we double click on this button, then afterward this coding open. We can see that this is class form 1. So for this specific form, one class is created. This is of public type because this form can be accessed outside and it is ending with the end class. Now afterward the coding of button, this is sub. Sub means void. Button 1 underscore click, this is the name of function. It is private because button is the part of form and ending with the end sub. Now 2 parameters are passed. This is one parameter, this is the second parameter, and this function is handling the button 1 dot click event. Means whenever we click on this button, then this coding will run. So static array, this is a comment because we have provided the code before that. Compiler will not read this. Now we are going to declare the array. So dim means declare A3. So A3 means there is an array which will be declared, and here we can store the elements. Now this is the 0th, then 1, then 2, and then 3. We know that whenever we are going to take an array in .NET, it goes from 0 to 3. That means 4 values can be stored here as integer. So this is the array A, which is declared of integer type. Now afterward we are having dim I sum. So 2 variables are declared. One is I and one is sum, and both are of integer type. We can declare them together if we want, and we can declare them separately. It is totally up to us. Now afterward we are having A0, means in A0 we are having 10. So first of all, we have stored 10 here. Then A1 is equal to 20. So 20 we have stored. Then A2 is equal to 30. Now here 30 is stored. Then A3 is equal to 40. So 40 is stored here. This is how we have stored all the elements on the click of button. Then afterward we have a for loop for I equal to 0 to 3. So that means I will start from 0 and it will be going till 3. That means the condition is less than equal to 3. This is the condition. Now here what we are doing, at the time the value of I is 0, so properly it will come inside, no problem. And here sum plus equal to, the meaning of sum plus equal to that, whenever we write sum plus equal to AI, the meaning of that is nothing but it is sum is equal to sum plus. So that means previous value plus the new value, and here AI is taken. So this is sum plus. Plus is equal to means it is sum plus. So that will be the line we have to convert. Now afterward it is taking the previous value with the AI. So what is the previous value? We know that it is 0. Right now the value of I is 0. And when we have declared this sum variable, now at that time by default the value of sum was 0, because it is the property of .NET. Whenever you declare any of the variable, at that time it automatically allocate the value to 0. So sum is 0 plus AI. AI means the first part. This is A0 is 10. So here we have taken the 10 right now. Now that means the new value of sum is nothing but that is 10. Now afterward it is going back. The value of I is incremented, which is 1. Now for one value it is checking the condition, it is less than equal to 3, no problem. Coming down, then sum is equal to sum plus AI. Now AI is 20. Because I is 1, so A1 that is 20. So the previous value of sum that was 10. So we have taken from here, and the new value that is 20. So 20 plus 10 that is equal to 30. So 30 will be modified here. Then afterward again is going back. Again the value of I become 2. Again condition is true. Then sum is equal to sum plus AI. The earlier value of sum is 30. So 30 plus the new value AI. I is 2. So this is A2, that is 30. So we are taking 30 plus 30. That is nothing but the 60. So 60 is coming here. Again it is going back. Now the value of I is incremented, it is 3. Then afterward again condition is true, 3 is equal to 3. Now again coming inside, sum is equal to sum plus. So earlier value of sum is 60. Then afterward the value of AI, which is A3, that is 40. So 60 plus 40, that value is nothing but 100. So 100 is stored here. Then afterward again it is going back. Again the value of I is incremented, which is 4. Now loop run from 0 to 3. That means condition was less than equal to 3. But here the value of I is 4. So condition false. Now it will not go inside. It will be directly coming outside for the for loop. So after the next it will come out. Now text box 1 dot text. We know that this is text box 1. And inside that what we are writing? Sum. What is the value of sum? The value of sum is 100. So this 100 value is displayed. So this is the example of a static array. We know that static array is the array whose size becomes fixed. We cannot change that. We know that here we have declared A3. Now this A3 means maximum 4 elements we can store here from index value 0 to 3. It cannot change its size. We cannot increase the size on the runtime. So that is the example of static array.